mass layoffs are coming in 2026. Here's how to make sure you survive them. Something is happening in the job market right now that very few people are talking about openly, and even fewer are preparing for. Beneath the surface of what seems like a stable economy, a fundamental shift is taking place. It's a quiet tremor that many are feeling, but few can articulate. A wave of white-collar layoffs is building, the kind that hits not factory workers, not retail staff, but exactly the educated, professional, office-based workers who always assumed they were safe. For decades, the promise was simple. Get a degree, secure a good corporate job, and your future is set. That promise is breaking. We're talking about accountants, analysts, administrators, mid-level managers, customer service teams, marketing departments, the very roles that have been the backbone of corporate America. The roles that filled office towers for the last 50 years are being quietly restructured, automated, and in many cases, completely eliminated. And the companies doing it are not being loud about it, because layoffs are bad publicity. They prefer to call it right-sizing or efficiency optimization. But the trend is real. It is accelerating, and 2026 is shaping up to be a pivotal year where these quiet changes culminate into a major disruption. So today, I am not going to scare you and leave you hanging. I am going to pull back the curtain and show you exactly why this is happening, who is most at risk, and most importantly, the specific, actionable steps you can take to make absolutely sure you are on the right side of this historic shift. Stay with me until the end, because the last strategy I'll share is the one that matters most, the one that can truly future-proof your career. Let us start with why this is actually happening, because understanding the underlying mechanism is the absolute key to protecting yourself. For most of modern history, white-collar jobs were considered the safe ones. You got an education, you learned a professional skill, you worked in an office, and you were insulated from the automation that affected manual labor. This was the established path to stability, a reliable career ladder built on knowledge. That fundamental assumption held for decades, but artificial intelligence has shattered that paradigm. For the first time in history, automation is not just coming for physical tasks, it's targeting cognitive work, the very thinking, analyzing, writing, calculating, organizing, and communicating that office jobs are built on. This is a fundamentally different kind of technological shift. And here is the uncomfortable truth. A huge portion of white-collar work is actually highly repetitive and rule-based, even if it doesn't feel that way to the person doing it. We've built entire careers around tasks that, when broken down, follow a predictable pattern. Generating weekly reports, processing endless invoices, answering the same routine customer questions, scheduling complex meetings, summarizing long documents, drafting standard communications. These are precisely the tasks that AI now performs faster, cheaper, more accurately, and around the clock without ever needing a coffee break. When a company realizes that an AI tool can handle 40 or 50% of what a department does, they don't necessarily announce massive layoffs. The change is often quieter, more insidious. They simply stop hiring for those roles. They let natural attrition shrink the team, and when someone leaves, they aren't replaced. Eventually, they restructure the entire department around the new, leaner, AI-augmented reality. Now, multiply that subtle process across thousands of companies, in every industry all at once. That is how you get a silent but massive economic wave. The conversation around AI and jobs is often filled with hyperbole, but to cut through the noise, we need to get practical. So let us be specific about who is most at risk, because vague warnings do not help anyone. The roles facing the most immediate pressure from AI share three key characteristics. First, the work is primarily digital. This isn't about working with your hands or face-to-face with a client in a dynamic setting. We're talking about tasks that live entirely on a screen, dealing with information rather than physical objects. Second, the work is largely predictable and repeatable. Think of it as any task that could be documented in a detailed instruction manual, following established patterns and procedures with few deviations. And third, the output can be checked and corrected quickly. This creates a perfect, low-risk feedback loop, making it easy to let an AI do a first pass with a human, simply reviewing and refining the results. If your job sits at the intersection of all three, heavily digital, highly repetitive, and easily verifiable, you are in the highest risk category. This includes a wide array of roles: data processing, basic accounting and bookkeeping, entry-level financial analysis, routine legal document work, standard content production, and large parts of customer support and administrative coordination. I am not saying these jobs will vanish overnight. I am saying the number of people needed to do them is shrinking, the value of those specific tasks is decreasing, and the competition for the remaining roles is intensifying rapidly. But here is where I want to shift completely, because the fear is the easy part, and the solution is what actually matters. Knowing layoffs are coming is useless unless you do something with that knowledge. So let me give you the concrete strategies, the actual moves that put you on the safe side of this transition. And the good news is that every single one of them is available to you starting today, regardless of your current job or background. Strategy 1. Become the person who uses AI, not the person who competes with it. This is the single most important shift in mindset. The people losing their jobs are the ones whose entire role consisted of tasks AI can now do. The people whose value is rising are the ones who have learned to direct AI to do those tasks for them, and then add the human judgment, creativity, and oversight on top. If your job involves writing, learn to use AI to write 10 times faster and position yourself as the person who manages that output. If your job involves analysis, learn to use AI to crunch the data and become the person who interprets it and makes decisions. The task automation is coming either way. Your goal is to be standing on top of it, commanding it, rather than underneath it, competing with it. Strategy 2. Shift toward the parts of your work that AI cannot easily replicate. Within almost every job, there are tasks that are highly automatable and tasks that are deeply human. AI is excellent at processing, summarizing, and generating. It is still weak at genuine relationship building, complex negotiation, creative strategy, emotional intelligence, and navigating messy real-world situations that do not follow clean rules. The professionals who will thrive are the ones who deliberately move their time and energy toward these human-centered, hard-to-automate parts of their work, and away from the routine tasks. Audit your own job honestly. Identify which parts a capable AI could do tomorrow, and which parts genuinely require a human. Then start becoming indispensable at the second category. Strategy 3. Build a second source of income before you need it. One of the most painful things about layoffs is that they hit people who have only one source of income, with no buffer and no backup. The single best protection against this is to start building a second income stream now, while you still have your primary job and the breathing room to experiment. This does not mean quitting and gambling everything. It means using a few hours a week to build something on the side, a freelance service, a small online business, a content channel, a skill you can monetize that uses the very AI tools we have been talking about. Even a modest second income transforms your situation. It removes the desperation. It gives you options. And if your main job does disappear, you are not starting from zero. You are accelerating something that already exists. Strategy 4. And this is the one that matters most. Develop genuine adaptability as your core skill. Here is the deepest truth about this entire shift. The specific jobs that are safe today may not be safe in 5 years. The specific AI tools that matter today will be replaced by better ones tomorrow. In a world changing this fast, no single skill is a permanent safe harbor. The only true protection is the ability to learn, unlearn, and relearn continuously. The people who will thrive across the next decade are not the ones who pick the perfect safe job. They are the ones who built the habit of constantly updating their skills, staying curious about new tools, and adapting faster than the world changes around them. Adaptability is no longer a nice-to-have. It is the single most valuable career asset you can own. So, let me bring this all together. Yes, a wave of white-collar layoffs is building, and 2026 is going to be a significant year for it. That part is real, and pretending otherwise helps no one. But this is not a story about helplessness. The same technology that threatens these jobs is the technology that, in the right hands, creates enormous opportunity and security. The people who get hurt will mostly be the ones who saw it coming and did nothing. The people who thrive will be the ones who took the warning seriously and started adapting while they still had time. That choice between being a passenger and being a driver in this transition is available to you right now, today. And that is exactly what this channel exists to help you do. Every single week, we break down what is actually happening with AI and the future of work. And more importantly, what to do about it. No doom, no hype, just clarity and a path forward. If you want to be on the right side of this shift, subscribe and hit the bell right now. And tell me in the comments, is your job in one of the high-risk categories, and what are you doing to prepare? I read every single one. See you in the next video.